To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Welcome to the World Center of Racing here tonight from Daytona International Speedway for the opening race of the Saturday Night Racing League Challenger Series, live tonight on V-Speed. 60 laps here. It's 150 miles. We've got 3 tire sets available. Not going to be too much of an issue for most of these drivers, but if you have enough accidents, you might wear the tires out. We got 2 green light checkered attempts, 80% fuel load. So this is the opening race of the series. Just 10 races. Here we go, kicking things off for the Challenger Series for Saturday Night Racing League. Green flags in the air. We're off and away. And we got cars spinning, huge pileup. Logan Threlkeld with the advantage. Here goes Matthew Radford, gonna jump to the outside. It's gonna be a drag race, and Radford's gonna win it.
Wow, what a finish. Man, Radford just timed that perfectly.
He's going to come into 3 and 4 with about a half a second lead. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Across the line, it's Brian Chambliss with his first win of the season. And Jordan Trask, and they battle it out. They're going to get side by side. They're actually running it down here. What will Philip Brewer do? Will he try to get to the outside again? Not quite able to do it. Bryce clears him, but there goes Philip Brewer. Looks like Bryce Shoemaker is going to have no pressure from behind. Bryce Shoemaker is going to take the victory, 128 laps without a pit stop. One 1,000th of a second across that line. Chuck Sweeting led that lap by. The white flag is out. Final time around for the Challenger Series at Michigan. The 2-mile speedway.
Dakota Floyd here, what do you do right now?
Look at the block down the backstretch.
You have to send it in hard here on the bottom, but Toronto's got the preferred line.
And they're 3-4 wide back here in the 10th position. But off in turn 4 for the final time, side by side. A door check, 3 wide for the lead. Barada is going to get the win at Michigan.
He's loose down there, though. He really sent it in there on the bottom here. Caleb trying to complete the pass here to grab that lead back.
A little bit of a slide job. Here comes Chuck Sweeting on his way by. Caleb Wheatley, after dominating here at Bristol, is going to take the win.
We'll see them both taking the high line, and he's in the back bumper of the 9.
Oh, man, I think he's going to hang on, though.
Chambliss able to hold on to it, keeps the momentum. The 44 does not have enough as Brian Chambliss takes home race number 10. Dakota Floyd finishing in the 6th position as our championship winner here tonight.
You're watching the Saturday Night Racing Challenger Series, only on V-Speed.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome back to Saturday night. That's right, the Saturday Night Racing Challenger Series is up first, right here on V-Speed. Welcome inside the V-Speed booth, everybody. My name is Logan Threlkeld, and alongside me, as always, is Jeff Wright. We've got a good one for a show tonight here at Phoenix Raceway. Jeff, give us a little breakdown as to how this track is going to handle tonight. I know it's extremely hot out there. It's probably going to be one of the hottest races this season.
Definitely. I mean, we're in the desert tonight, so it really doesn't get much hotter than this. 90 degrees is the ambient air temperature out there tonight. We're going to see track temps between 140, 150. So it's hot, it's slick. A fairly unique racetrack, Phoenix Raceway is, and in terms of not a lot of banking, so a relatively flat track. These guys are going to be sliding around, and that right front is going to be scorching by the time we get done with a fuel run. So this should be a very entertaining race to see the comers and goers throughout the night.
Especially with how oddly shaped this Phoenix Raceway is. Opened up back in 1964. Avondale, Arizona, 1 mile in length. So we've got some quick lap times, some of them running right around that sub 30-second lap time number, but only 8 to 11 degrees banking in the turns, 3 degrees across the straight. Of course, you can see that graphic there with that odd dog leg offset from the center of where that front stretch would be. So it's going to be all about who can find the best line and stick to it as long as they can. Throw up our current points here going into tonight. Bryce Shoemaker is leading the charge here with a 10-point advantage over Philip Brewer, who does have a win on the season. Matt Shinosky in third, Stephen Davis in fourth. Caleb Weekly will make it to the top 5 this week, followed closely by Dakota Floyd, Austin Belkey, Judson Curtis, Michael Muncy, and Noah Mahalski make up your top 10. Timothy Peters back in 11th. Team V-Speed, that would be Bradley Cooper and myself sitting in 12th with the co-driven car. Jeremy Reed in 13th. Keith Shoemaker in 14th. Jordan Trask sitting in 15th right now. Rob Denton in 16th. Tad Dabney in 17th. Brandon Wallace in 18th. Matt Dominique in 19th. And last but not least in the top 20, V-Speed's very own Morgan Cook. We've got some team points to look at here this week as well. Jeff, you want to break it down for the folks at home?
Yeah, looking at the graphic here, we got the top 5 team standings up on your screen right here. So we do have more team entries, but you're looking at the top 5. FireStorm Racing has been just really on fire tonight, to say the least, or this entire season. Bryce Shoemaker kind of carrying the banner for them right now, as he is the points leader coming into tonight. So I'd say look for Bryce Shoemaker and everybody at FireStorm Racing to try to extend that lead. But Team V-Speed really close there in number 2. Neon Auto, a group of guys that have been so close to getting into victory lane. Noah Mahalski kind of being the driver, carrying the banner for that team so far. And then a little bit of a gap down to 4th place with MDR Racing and JTM. We'll see if they can catch up tonight. I know they got some strong cars, and this should be a good racetrack for those guys.
FireStorm Racing being very heavily helped out by Bryce Shoemaker. An outrageous start for him this season. No wins, but leading the points by 10. It looks like we've got our qualifying effort completed, Jeff. What do you say we get right into the grid here tonight? Take a look at what these guys have going on out here on the track. Setting the pole for tonight is the 79 of Jordan Trask with a 28.649. To his outside is the 17 of Richard Holland, which it looks like we'll have a little bit of a mix-up on the paints there. The 31 on the field, the 17 on your ticker. Row number 2 is going to go to Morgan Lilly in the 92 next to the 57 of Dakota Floyd. Row 3, Justin Ritchie on the inside, and points leader Bryce Shoemaker on the outside. Row 4 is Bradley Cooper in the 2 machine on the inside, and the 63 of Max Cost in 8th. Row 5 and the last of the top 10 is the Caleb Weekly machine in 9th, next to the 44 of Philip Brewer.
In the 11th starting spot, it's going to be Austin Belkey in that number 24, alongside Morgan Cook in the 51 machine. Starting in the 13th position, it's going to be Mark Cofield alongside Keith Shoemaker in the 88. Rob Denton will start 15th tonight alongside Rob Hamp in the number 18. Jacob Locklear making his first start here in the Challenger Series rolls off 17th alongside Brandon Wallace in the 99. Starting 19th, it's John Sanu alongside Chris Rude to round out the top 20.
21st, Tim Shinosky in the 41 next to the 75 of Logan Watern. Matt Shinosky in the 31 takes the 23rd starting position next to the 98 of Cliff Adams in 24th. Judson Curtis in the 29 machine takes the 25th starting spot next to the 03 of Noah Mahalski. 27th goes to Matt Dominique in the 25, next to the 22 of Michael Jones in 28. Last but not least in our top 30, Mark McFadden next to Jeremiah Holt in the 73.
Going to be Tad Dabney in the 9 car starting 31st alongside Stephen Davis. Had a great run last week at Auto Club. He rolls off 32nd. Brian Hennings 33rd. Ben Laughter 34th. Michael Muncie 35th. Edward Fielder 36th. Greg Spiker 37th. And Teresa Spiker 38th.
38 cars on the field tonight. And they're ready to go. Let's get right down to the action here. Jordan Trask leading the way into the Geico restart zone we go. Green flag is out, and we're racing at Phoenix for race number 4. Ooh, and contact already on the inside wall. Didn't quite catch who that is. Way back in the pack, it's still missing out the name right now, Jeff.
Yeah, I wasn't quite able to see that, but definitely a hit there to the inside wall. We're going to stay green, though, regardless, as Jordan Trask is going to come around and lead lap number 1. Just behind him, it's going to be Richard Holland, race winner from Texas. He's looking for another good run tonight. He missed last week, so looking for a good points night to try to rebound, get himself inside that top 12. We're only got 12 drivers that's going to be going chase racing, so after missing a week or two, you're definitely going to have to bounce back here with a good race tonight at Phoenix.
A good points night is always important, especially once you start hitting the midway point of the regular season. We'll see what this race has in store for us. There's a caution now out on the track. Not positive at all where this one is. It's the 64 of Ben Laughter. Let's take it back on the V-Speed instant replay. Take a look at what happened to Ben Laughter. Back here just hanging out in the back of the pack, and looks like a major net code issue there for the 64, and I didn't quite catch the number of who was in front of him there, Jeff.
Yeah, I want to say that was a 60, Stephen Davis. That looked really strange. It almost looked like a glitch, like he hit some barrier. The way his car reacted there. I mean, I've seen that type of glitch happen at, places like New Hampshire, but yeah, look at that. That's just, you can't even explain that. I mean, that must have been some sort of glitch, and it's definitely going to pretty much end Ben Laughter's night. I mean, yeah, that's just really strange.
Big hit to non-existent force. The immovable object not able to be seen. Ben Laughter likely a race ender here tonight already, so early. But down to pit road goes the 64. He's got an opportunity to fix up some of that damage, get things taken care of, get back out on the track.
Most of these guys going to go ahead and stay out as we're just a handful of laps into this event. You kind of saw Holland there. I mean, showing us 31 on the racetrack, but 17 on your ticker. He was starting to pressure Jordan Trask, and it looks like he wasn't wanting to wait around too long or sit back and save his stuff. He was looking to, really go ahead and battle for that race lead here. So I think we'll have an interesting battle here on this restart as they get ready to come back around. You're going to have a lot of different strategy here. I mean, some guys are going to want to take it easy, be strong, through the middle, long run portions of the race. This is going to be pretty much a one-stop race, if it were to go green to the end from now. Whether that's going to happen, who knows, but 50 laps, on a single set of tires is what we're kind of asking these guys to go, and that's, with the hottest racetrack as it is tonight, that's a lot to ask of those tires. So I really feel like you're going to have to take super good care of these tires, probably better than anywhere else we're going to go this season, just because how hot it is out there.
Pace car is off, and it's the long, slow drive back down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4. Finally see that Geico restart zone. Jordan Trask will take the green flag once more, and back to green flag conditions here to start lap number 6. And already cutting it well below that yellow line there. It is a legal move. You can cut that dog leg all day at the risk of your tires, though. That transition can be quite treacherous the longer you go into a run. And a caution out once more. It's the 22 of Michael Jones at the back of the pack, sideways in turns 1 and 2. Back here at this restart, Michael Jones, back half of the middle group of the pack. Just a little bit hard on the brakes into the back end of the 32. Got both cars upset here. Luckily, no real damage to be had, though. It's kind of a mishap. Missed the braking point there.
Yeah, it gets into the back of Chris Root a little bit there, but yeah, thankfully, both these guys kind of able to keep it off each other as they come around spinning. So no major damage here, I don't believe, but you'll probably just see two guys approaching the corners very differently here. Obviously, Michael gets in there pretty hot, gets Chris in the back, and they both go for a bit of a spin. Chris is going to have some pretty good amount of rear end damage there, and the Xfinity cars, I mean, you would think it's the front of the car that's going to be most vulnerable, but it's really the back. I mean, you get any sort of damage on the rear of the car, and you just lose all that rear downforce, and it can make for, you know, a handful pretty much the rest of the night, lacking any sort of downforce. And I've experienced that firsthand. It's not fun to drive, so probably look for those guys that got a little bit of damage here, hit pit road, try to fix as much as you possibly can. And eventually we'll get our footing here, Logan. I know it's a hot racetrack. It's a very unique racetrack, but we'll get settled in here and we'll have some good green flag racing.
Once we do, it's going to really turn things around for a lot of these drivers. We'll get your race analysis up on the screen now. 100 laps on the night. Pit road speed of 45 miles per hour, 3 tire sets available, so really have to keep an eye on those tire temperatures and how much they're being used up. 2 green-white checkered attempts at the end of this race if they're needed, with an 80% fuel load, and of course the iRacing fixed setup for tonight's race here at Phoenix. Jeff, those 3 tires available, what does that mean for these drivers whenever it comes to driving how they were in practice versus how they're going to have to drive this race?
Well, you pretty much got to, factor in that you're going to use one of them for your green flag stop once we get rolling here. So that really opens the door to have 2 opportunities to put that, those other 2 additional sets on. And the big question is, when do you use them? I mean, right now it would be hard for me to put them on at this, part of the race, but also if you've gone for a spin, maybe flat spot the tires, get a lot of heat in them, maybe you do take a set there. But, I'm looking to have at least an extra set, after lap 50 in case we get some late race cautions, because I feel like it's the guys that are going to have tire sets late in the race that are probably going to win this this event. And yeah, it's just really tough to manage it when you only got 3 sets to use.
Yeah, it's going to be all about saving as much tire as possible here tonight. Pace car back off. Jordan Trask still taking the green flag here to start lap number 10. And we're back racing at Phoenix once more. It's a scramble back behind, 3, possibly 4 wide in the middle part of the field. Definitely 3 wide right here. That's going to be, I believe, Morgan Cook in the 51 on the low side. Gets lined out here in front of teammate Bradley Cooper in the 2. Austin Belke there on the inside. Max Koss just ahead. The 44 of Philip Brewer also ahead of Morgan Cook right now. Everybody's still trying to find their racing line as Max Koss dips it below that yellow line, coming across the dog leg.
Look for Philip Brewer to back up tonight with a good performance after winning last week at Auto Club. That was such a big race victory for him. He had come so close in seasons past, both Cup Series and Challenger Series, finally was able to break through. And I know he's excited, but now you got to get back to business, focus on this week, and have another good points day. I think Philip Brewer is definitely going to be a guy that we're going to have to think about for the championship in the long run here. But here comes Richard Holland trying to power around on the outside here of Jordan Trask, trying to take the lead away. He will this time. New leader here, the 17 of Richard Holland.
Our first lead change on the night took us 12 laps to get there. Richard Holland, 17 on the ticker, 31 on the track. He'll lead his first lap this time by. That was a fantastic move. He found an extra bit of grip there on that high line to get around the 79 of Trask. Made it look easy back there.
He sure did, and maybe caught Jordan sleeping a little bit there. I don't know if Jordan was expecting somebody to jump to the outside to make a pass, but either way, he's going to make it work. This will be an opportunity now, though, for the 79 to kind of sit back, try to take care of his stuff. Usually when you're the leader, it can be easy to overcook your stuff. You're not really sure the pace that's out there. You're the one kind of setting the pace. Now he's in second place there, can maybe back off a little bit, save some right front tire. But how about the 54 just behind Jordan Trask there? Bryce Shoemaker, another driver that's been having a great season so far, leading the points, obviously, been staying out of trouble. He finds himself up here towards the front, and also looking at the last 3 short track events last season in the Challenger Series, Bryce Shoemaker is second on the board with the best average finish with 6th. Jordan Trask is 3rd with an average finish of 9th. So both these two guys here are in 2nd, 3rd, good short track racers, but right now it looks like it's all Richard Holland. He's kind of driving away.
Back behind all of that, it's a battle for 4th. Morgan Lilly, Dakota Floyd with the advantage coming out of turn number 2. Was able to get around the 32, or rather the 92 of Lilly. Philip Brewer now looking to take away the inside line 2 with the 51 rather, of Morgan Cook behind. These number fonts are getting me tonight.
And Philip Brewer, he's utilizing all of that open dog leg there. We saw how far he went down there, trying to get as much as he can. I think he's going to clear the 92 of Morgan Lilly, and he will. So slot Philip Brewer up to the 5th place position. And as we were talking about the average finishes, Logan, the best driver on the 3 short tracks last season in terms of the average finish, actually that 57, Dakota Floyd, a 3.3 average finish. Look for him to be really strong tonight, already up here in the top 5. Just trying to take care of his stuff, mind his time. I'm sure he'll be there at the end.
Dakota Floyd, last season's, the inaugural Challenger season champion. So it makes sense that he would have a good average finish there. I know that 54 of Bryce Shoemaker, he is hungry for, I believe, what would be his first win in the S&R League. So he's up here in 3rd right now. He's got a lot of distance to make up to catch up to Richard Holland leading this race. Already out over a 1.5 seconds to 2nd place Jordan Trask. We'll see if Bryce Shoemaker has anything in store for us if he can get around the 79 machine quickly. In contact into the wall back behind for Morgan Cook. Got pinched up high from Morgan Lilly, able to gather it back together. At threat of losing a position here, possibly 2 with Hamp right behind.
Yeah, the 2 Morgans duking it out here right now as they're both fighting for position. Looks like nobody's really willing to give an inch right here. Both these guys battling really hard, but I think it's going to be Morgan Cook going to prevail here off corner exit. Move that 51 up 1 position, but man, Richard Holland has checked out to nearly a 2-second lead. That makes me a little bit concerned just in terms of the tire wear, but maybe he's got it figured out where he can conserve tire and obviously run some heater lap times. It'll be very interesting to see what he looks like, 30, 40 laps into a run, and especially before we get to pit stops. But right now, he is on it. He is digging right now here at Phoenix Raceway.
You can see a perfect example right there. That gap going into turn number 3. He nearly has half a straightaway between 1st and 2nd right now. Holland able to, like you said, put down some scorcher lap times here early on. But at what cost? We'll have to keep an eye on that Holland machine and see where he will kind of start to fall off.
Really been watching this 44 here, Philip Brewer. I mean, He's definitely on the move early as he's started 10th up to the 5th place position. So already looking like he's going to be backing up a good race last week that he won. He's already competing here in the top 5. Another driver that's up even more positions, Noah Mahalski in the 03, didn't get the qualifying effort that he needed tonight. Started all the way back in, I believe, 26th. And this is a driver that I believe in season 2 of the SNR Cup Series, he finished 2nd. And that was second place was to Chad Klinger, the hometown hero here at Phoenix Raceway. So obviously Noah Mahalski knows how to get around Phoenix, and he's proven that right now. Passed a lot of cars so far to this point. Now working on some guys, his teammates actually just ahead, 63 Max Cost, Caleb Weekly in the 13. Look for Noah Mahalski here to kind of drive his way to the front as we continue through this portions of the race. I just think he's too good to stay mid-pack here for too long. I think we'll see Noah, and it won't be very long until we do.
On board now with the 13 of Caleb Weekly, one of our drivers with the driver cam this week. We've got 3 others we'll cycle through here. Take a look at what it's like to be in this car behind the 63 machine. Weekly doing a great job not electing to bring it down below the yellow line and cut the dog leg. Little bit of a, I don't want to say a slip there from the rear end, but looked like it got a little sideways there on him coming across that start-finish line.
Yeah, you can see just the heat in the track, how much he's having to work the wheel. And I don't know how Caleb does this, man, but he has his arms so far extended driving. I feel like that would be uncomfortable, but he makes it work, and obviously doing a pretty good job right now. I believe he's up 2 positions as we run, working on Max Cost here in the 63, but it's early. We're only 25 laps into this thing. I'm sure these guys are still trying to keep the tires underneath it, really get to the long run. But as we say that, man, Richard Holland still pulling out to an even further lead. 2.1, 2.2 seconds is what we're seeing right now on the ticker.
But here is the move from Caleb Weekly underneath the 63 of Cost, and he's going to get that position back into the top 10 for the 13. And a big move down to the bottom for the 03 of Mahalski, looking to get some sort of an advantage here to get around the 13. That leaves Mahalski sitting in 11th, 15 positions up since the start of this race. Only 2 drivers with more positions gained. That's Brian Hennings back in 17th, up 16, and Michael Muncie in 19th, up 16.
Yeah, those guys are obviously, having a big drive as well, and making quick work of this field. You see Bradley Cooper back there in the 2. He's just minding his own business, running a part-time schedule. You, Logan, and him kind of sharing that 2 car this season. So it's going to be fun to see both of you guys out on track this season. I've already got to work with both of you. But don't count that 2 car out just yet. Making a pass here on Max Cost. Trying to get himself closer to the top 10 here.
Bradley Cooper started out this race in 7th. He's back 5 right now in 12th. A couple restarts did not go in his favor here. Yeah, as you mentioned there, Jeff, we kind of share the 2 car. I just happen to put a 1 in front of it whenever it's my turn to drive.
There we go. That's right. I forgot the different numbers, but yeah, the same race car. I guess the only difference is the wrap that you guys put on it. Bradley Cooper had a pretty good week at Auto Club just 1 week ago. Got some damage on that car kind of in the early goings of the race, but that really didn't slow his pace a whole lot. Was still able to battle inside the top 10, get a good place finish, but I know he has to wonder, had he not gotten the damage, could that have been a car to compete for the race win? And I would have to say, I think so. He's pretty good at that racetrack.
Just a few moments ago there, Michael Muncie in the 19 gained 1 more position to the 18th spot, getting around the 86 of John Sanu. Oh, and a big wiggle coming down the backstretch from the 74. Brian Hennings right in front of Muncie. These 2 drivers are the most gained positions on the track. See if Muncie can make it +1 here before too long as he's closing up on the back bumper of the 74.
He's going to send it down to the inside here of the 74 of Hennings. You're right. Both these guys up a lot of positions, and I feel like they're just kind of battling to be the first car in front of one another, because then it's all about them trying to make passes together. One car open up a hole, the other car try to fill in behind, and I feel like they've been doing that so far tonight as they're both up a lot of positions here in the early goings. Phoenix, as we work over lap 31 here, that lead's not getting any shorter here. Holland's still pulling out, but we still got a really good battle here for the second and third place position. Jordan Trask hanging on to second as we speak. Dakota Floyd move him up to the third place position. And now he's going to set his sights on that 79 Jordan Trask. And if Dakota Floyd can get clear of him, it'll be interesting to see if he can kind of reel down Holland a little bit. It seems like Holland's in a class of his own tonight, but get a little bit of clean air on that nose of Dakota Floyd, the former series champion, and we'll see if he can run him down.
Jeff, by the looks of it, you would almost assume that this would be the lead of the race right now, and Richard Holland would be a lap car ahead. Absolutely not the case, as Dakota Floyd now to the inside, side by side with the 79 at Trask. Philip Brewer right behind Floyd. He'll slide up to the top end of the racetrack. Are we going to see a three-wide maneuver here coming from the middle line? Jordan Trask loose into the turn. He's going to get the wall. This might give Floyd that position, and it does momentarily. We'll see who gets the drive off of the corner exit.
Yeah, definitely a high corner there for Jordan. Kind of maybe got up in the marbles, but Dakota Floyd's going to go ahead and take that position away. Philip Brewer really loose there as he goes to the inside to complete the pass here, but that could have been bad. It looks like he's running a lot of rear brake maybe in the car, and that's kind of what stepped it out a bit. So move Dakota Floyd up to second, Philip Brewer to third, Jordan Trask runs fourth, followed by Bryce Shoemaker runs fifth, and then a little bit of a gap there, not much, a couple car lengths back to Morgan Cook in the 51. Rob Hamp is currently running 18th. Justin Ritchie in the 55 runs 8th. Morgan Lilly 9th, and Noah Mihalski rounds out your top 10. And Noah, he's had a lot of cars to pass. He's finally cracked his way into the top 10, but you can see on the ticker there, 6 seconds behind race leader Richard Holland. I really feel like for Noah Mihalski to get himself back in this conversation to compete for a race win, probably going to need a caution so he can get a reset. He just started so deep into the field, had to pass a lot of cars, and obviously when you're back in traffic, you're giving up a lot of time to the race leader.
Battle back here just outside of the top 10 is the 13 of Weekly and the 2 of Cooper. Side by side into 3 they go. Max Koss right behind with what could be help from the 41 of Shinosky. Cooper with the advantage out of 4. He'll get ahead of Weekly. Caleb Weekly is showing a lot of pace right now. Max Koss takes a look to the inside. He can't quite get to the rear quarter. Looks like this is how they'll run coming out of turn number 2. A little bit further back in the pack is the 93 of Rob Denton. We'll take a little on board with him. He's another one of our drivers with a camera on the night. I mean, might as well. It is the Rob's Sim Rig Driver Cam. Sponsored by the 93 there, so.
Yeah, always got to ride on board here with Rob Denton as he is a sponsor of that RSR Driver Cam. So much fun to ride on board and take a look at the sim rig here as he is currently running in the 22nd position. And you can tell he's battling that wheel, maybe even shifting a little bit there. Was he shifting? I wasn't sure if I heard that correctly, but it looked like I saw his RPMs jump. I actually don't have audio in the in-car, so you'd have to tell me, Logan, but for a second there, it looked like he was maybe shifting gears.
He certainly is shifting gears. He's dropping it down about midway through the corner. And then on corner exit there is whenever he'll jump back up to 4th. It's working out for the 93. He's able to keep it there low on the apron. Well, not quite on the apron, but close enough. 93 of Rob Denton is the only one I've noticed so far changing gears this early in the race even.
Yeah, Phoenix is a track that definitely opens up that door to shift gears. So a lot of times guys will try to, big move by Max Koss as he's trying to cross over Caleb Weekly, but a lot of times guys will try to not shift if they don't have to, just because it'll save the rear tires a little bit. And so you'll see a kind of a mixed bag. You'll see some guys shifting, some guys elect not to shift. It's really just kind of personal preference. Obviously Rob Denton shifting there as he's working on, looks like Matt Shinosky. And how about Tim Shinosky up in the 14th position? He started 21st. He's already passed a few cars in that number 41 machine. He's having a pretty good race as well.
That he is not one to complain about by any means. See if Shinosky can make a climb up to the top 10 and challenge for one of those positions. Right now, Dakota Floyd 2 seconds back from Richard Holland. Philip Brewer about a quarter second back from Floyd. Jordan Trask, our pole setter on the night, has fallen back to 5th in the recent laps. We saw a pass just a little while ago from the 54 of Bryce Shoemaker. He's now put a little over a second from 4th to 5th. Right now, Rob Hamp looking at the outside here. We'll see if he can get any ground to make up as he switches it back over to the inside line. He's going to be door-to-door with the 79 going into turn number 3. Rob Hamp with the advantage. Trask way high up on the racetrack, but it's going to be just enough room for Hamp to get the slide job complete and up in front of the 79.
Yeah, this 79 needs a caution, and he needs it now. He is really struggling on the long run. As you see all these cars lined up behind him, they see him up out of the groove. They're all thinking that's a free position if they can get to his inside. Now it's the 51 of Morgan Cook trying to set his sights on it. Can't quite do it this time, but how about Noah Michalski diving way down to the bottom? He's trying to get underneath the 55 here of Justin Ritchie, and Michalski's looking pretty good right now. I mean, he was 6 seconds behind the leader. Now he's about 5.5, so he's definitely showing good long run speed. I still think any of these guys back here in terms of competing for a race win, they're probably going to need to see a caution. But if not, the halfway point is probably where we're going to start seeing the pit stops happen. You could maybe pull some strategy there too. I don't know if 2 tires would be an option here. I haven't really seen the tire wear, but these guys definitely going to have an opportunity to try something here, as the fuel here isn't really a concern. I mean, these guys could probably go 70 laps on fuel, so it's not like they're going to have to wait in the box to get fuel, so you automatically would put 4 tires on. This kind of opens the door for some guys to try something, so it'll be interesting to see if anybody does elect try and go with 2 tires.
We'll see if there's any sort of a mix-up with strategy. Is just ahead of this second group here, aside from the top 4 rather. There's a 32 just ahead. Chris Rude 1 lap down. Got 30 still on the lead lap from our 38 car field. Only one has made the early exit so far. Looks like the 78 of Edward Fiedler currently in pit road, possibly getting some damage fixed. We'll keep an eye, see if he comes back out on the track later in this race.
Watching these guys kind of inside of turns 1 and 2, everybody's really moved up into the corner. They're starting to use the higher lane on the opposite side of the racetrack. Here in turns 3 and 4, everybody's kind of, that bottom to the middle, but on the opposite side of the racetrack, you're seeing guys kind of enter up by the wall. You don't always see that at Phoenix, so it could just be a result of the tire wear. The car is probably so tight that it's really hard to get it down towards the bottom, but they're almost kind of diamonding it a little bit, entering high and then driving it back down to the yellow line to try to get the runs off. But you see guys experiment. Chris Rue is going to go way wide here in this corner as he maybe bounced off the wall just a tad. But different lines being used here at Phoenix, and that's not something you always see.
I think Rude just doing his best to stay out of everybody's way here. Always a very well, what's the word I'm looking for here? Etiquette.
Yeah, very
good
courteous
etiquette
driver
on the track from the 32 machine. Doesn't want to cause problems by any means with anybody.
Man, I'm still watching guys like Rob Hamp right now. Rob Hamp is definitely on the move as well. I mean, he started 16th, he's up to 5th and still climbing. So he's right about that 5-second mark, and he's setting his sights on Bryce Shoemaker, which is a ways up there, about 2 seconds ahead of Rob Hamp. But now the 18's got a little bit of clean air on the nose as there's a little bit of a gap. So see if Rob Hamp can get himself in a bit of a groove here. And now you see Noah Michalski has reached the back bumper of the pole sitter tonight, and Jordan Trask. Probably won't be long here before we see Noah Michalski work over the 79 and move himself up another position into, which is the battle for 6th currently. And Logan, we're just about halfway here. This is where that pit window is going to open up here. So I would imagine the guys that are not happy with the way their cars are driving, they're probably going to try to get to pit lane ASAP. If your car's driving good, you might stretch it a little bit, but I think we're going to see pit lane get pretty busy here in just a few moments.
Got a big slide out of turn number 2 there for the 51 of Morgan Cook. In the meantime, Noah Michalski does get by the 79 of Jordan Trask, so make that 20 positions gain for the 03 on the night, and still looking to charge through the rest of this field. Michalski doing a fantastic job to start this race. A caution right now. Oh my goodness.
You spoke it into existence, Logan.
I think it was happening before I even said anything about a yellow. Where was this one at?
That we'll have to find. I'm not entirely sure, but man, right smack dab in the middle. Lap 50 turns around. We get our caution. Pretty much splits this thing in half now. So, yeah, pretty much everybody's going to have to come down here, take tires and fuel. And we're not going to see a green flag pit stop tonight.
Still trying to find out where this one happened. It looks like the 99 of Brandon Wallace was very slow coming through the dog leg. Let's take it back one more time, see if this is where this happens. 99, the 74, side by side coming down the back stretch. Has to be in turn number 3. Big sin to the inside for the 99. Made contact with the 74 of Brian Hennings. Down into the wall right in the middle of the Geico restart zone and just back up on the track in front of the 79 of Judson Curtis. That will be enough to bring out that yellow flag. And, well, I'm not taking blame for that one, Jeff. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, either way, we're going to get a caution here, and it's pretty much going to reset the field, and this pretty much gives everybody the opportunity to try to run down that 17 of Richard Holland. He was really good that run. Didn't feel like he was falling off all that much by the time lap 50 rolled around here. So he has a really good pace, but you know, now that brings some guys into the equation that started further back. You know, Noah Mahalski drove his way all the way up through the field from 26th inside the top 10. He's going to have another opportunity at this now. And, you know, guys like Dakota Floyd, Philip Brewer, Shoemaker, Trask, they were kind of falling from the leader as well. So this really gives them a chance to kind of reset. And we'll see if these guys make any adjustments in terms of how they're driving the car. The first pit stop is always so important because you get to see how your tires were wearing, and then you can kind of adjust how you're driving depending on what the wear shows. So, you know, if you're super heavy right front, well, now you pretty much need to know you need to take a little bit care of that and drive it off the right rear a little bit more. So this little mid-race break gives us an opportunity to reset the field, and now it's going to be pretty much a 50-lap sprint to the end.
This is what the 79 of Trask was wanting after seeing his car fall back from being the pole sitter on the night all the way back to the 7th position. He's made it back out on the track, currently sitting in 6th, so he'll be in that 3rd row on the outside. I apologize, that 3rd row on the inside here for this restart. Richard Holland on the inside here, row number 1. Scruton needs to tighten things back up. He's getting very close to that Geico restart zone, and there's a big gap there. And we adding one more, it looks like. One more pace lap we'll have.
Yeah, I think some of the guys towards the back maybe weren't lined up correctly or things like that. So we're going to get one more pace lap here and make sure we got the field in the correct order and guys are where they're supposed to be. So it gives yourself, you know, another lap here to kind of mentally prepare for the second half of this race. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's probably going to be more the same of what we saw the first run. But now that these guys know that it's the 17 or the 31 car here on the track, 17 on the ticker, he's the guy to beat tonight. I think he showed that. So they're all going to be chasing him, and I think these guys are going to be driving a little bit extra hard just to make sure they kind of keep him within reach. I don't know if these guys were trying to save a little bit early on or if just the raw speed of Holland was, you know, setting sail. But now these guys have it back in their sights, and they're going to get up on the wheel.
Into the Geico restart zone we go. Green flag in the air, and it's away. And Holland with a massive jump on this one. First time leading us to the green flag on the night for that 17/31 machine.
Philip Brewer here in the 44. That's the highest up he's been tonight in the second place position. But Dakota Floyd battling hard on the inside here as they battle off of turn 2 down the back straightaway into turn 3 here. The turns here, Logan, always mix me up, you know, with how they switched the start-finish line on us a few years ago. So turns 1 and 2 are now, you know, 3 and 4 and vice versa. But Noah Mahalski, big move down to the apron here as he's going to try to grab a position away here from Rob Hamp. He will. And move Noah Mahalski up here to 4th. He is inside the top 5.
Philip Brewer was able to get back around the 57 of Floyd, now challenging, but another caution out on the track. Let's see, it's got to be somewhere towards the back of this pack. Looks like a lot of damage now on the 64 of Ben Laughter. One more time to the V-Speed replay. See what happened back here. 64. Oh, there's one way down on the track. Looks like maybe contact with the wall, then came back up. Ooh, Chris Rude in it. The 60 of Stephen Davis in it. Maybe not actually having damage on the 64, and my eyesight is just that bad. Take it back again and look at the 60 of Davis and see where he got mixed up with the 32 of Chris Rude. Davis cutting that dog leg there, and that transition back to the track surface, that's what got him. Unable to get it slowed back down right in front of the 32 of Rude. That'll put the right front directly into the wall. A lot of damage there. Potentially a broken toe link. Keep an eye on the 32, see if he picks up a meatball flag from that one. Just 2 cars collected. Look at how heavily towed in that is.
Yeah, that's pretty significant damage. Going to be for both cars there. Definitely a weird looking wreck. I don't know if something, the 60, he had some sort of damage. It just looked like he had no control of his car going back up the track there. And unfortunately, he's going to collect the 32 there of Chris Rude. But another caution here is going to give these guys a chance to cool down just a bit. I know it's hot out there. It's slick. And I don't know if we can pull up the track temperature, but I imagine it's just absolutely off the charts right now. Yeah, 140. That's pretty hot out there. And when it's that hot, you know, these cars are going to be sliding. They're going to be out of control. So it's just a matter of who can try to control it the best. And so far tonight, it's the guys up front, like Holland, Brewer, Floyd. Mahalski has had an incredible drive up through the field. Rob Hamp as well. We talk about those guys being really big movers. Morgan Cook started 12th. He's up to 6th. So a lot of these guys up here have had to drive their ways up here. Really the only guys that's kind of started towards the front and stayed there all night, that 17 there, Richard Holland. So we'll have to see if these guys have anything for him.
That we will, as we're doubled back up. We'll see if we can make it happen this time by. Everybody lined up there in the back of the pack. Let's take a look at one more of our driver cams here. Ben Laughter in that 64 machine. He's back out on track. Where is the 64? There he is. Catching up to the rest of the pack now. With our driver cam on the 64. It's going to go around the 9 of Tad Dabney there. 1 lap down for the 64 machine. Going to get the go around here? No, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, he still got some significant damage on that car from that first incident. I think he also got involved in that last incident that drew the caution. So not the night that Ben Laughter has been wanting to have.
We're back under green here as Richard Holland for the second time takes the green flag, and another big jump for the 17. It's a scramble behind about 5 rows back. The 24 of Austin Belkey on the low line, looking to the inside of the 79 of Trask, but not quite enough to get there. Belkey, those drivers who always has some pretty good speed here. Looks like the 55 of Justin Ritchie high up on the outside. The 24 and the 13 both cutting way down, and sideways goes the 79. Jordan Trask gets turned. Facing the wrong way in turn number 1. Not what you expect to see from the pole sitter.
No, that's definitely going to be race ending for him. I mean, or at least, you know, competing for a top 10 at this point. Just a lot of damage there to that race car. He's going to have to obviously go to pit lane and just gets together there at the 54 and goes for a spin to the outside wall. Not the night, like you said, he wants to have after qualifying on pole. Just really hasn't had anything really go his way tonight. And more or less that's going to take him out of contention.
On board now with the 54 of Shoemaker, who makes his contact here. It looked like Bryce might have come down the racetrack just enough after this dog leg here. Right there. Looks like Trask maybe just a little bit higher than Shoemaker was expecting. Got that right rear. Just put the 79 right into the wall. Big damage now for Jordan Trask. See if he'll be able to recover from that one.
Yeah, and curious to see what the damage is going to look like on that 54 as well. Obviously, pretty good contact there. I'm not seeing a ton of damage on the 54, so I think he's probably going to get through unscathed, but obviously the 79 getting the worst of that as those cars come together, and just an unfortunate turn of events there for the 79. Like we mentioned, started on the pole, was running up inside the top 5, top 10, and then gets in that incident there, and it's going to definitely send him to pit lane here to probably repair quite a bit of damage.
While we have a quick moment, Jeff, let's send it to a quick commercial break and have a word from one of our sponsors here on Saturday nights. We'll be right back after this word.
What is up, everyone? I am Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra.
Banks, he's gonna send it to the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead. They're gonna. Joshua Banks is gonna win it. Unbelievable.
And also co-owner of M&J Distributors, for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to V-Speed and subscribe to them, because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
We're back live here at Phoenix Raceway just moments after the green flag dropped. Richard Holland still in the lead here. It's a battle for second place between Floyd and Philip Brewer. Right behind will be side by side for a couple rows. Noah Mahalski, Rob Hamp right behind. Then it breaks down here. Morgan Cook on an island all by himself for the moment. Justin Ritchie right behind. Caleb Weekly, Bryce Shoemaker. They're side by side back here as well. Weekly still way low on the dog leg. It's a scramble through the back of the pack now. Bradley Cooper, Morgan Lilly trading blows here. Cooper on the inside, the 92 of Lilly on the outside. And a couple cars loose there on corner exit of 2. Caleb Weekly and Bryce Shoemaker both with a wiggle. Able to get it back going though. Dakota Floyd, Philip Brewer. They're still battling it out here for second place. Floyd, he's in that position to cut that dog leg. Brewer keeps it high up on the track in front of the 03, and Floyd finally with the advantage here coming down the backstretch. He'll slide up in front of the 44 machine.
And this is exactly what Holland wants to see as the race leader, seeing these guys all battle really tough here for the second place position. Floyd, he's going to clear for second now, so he'll be able to set his sights on that race leader, but now it's Brewer and Mahalski battling for it. And as you get close to the front here, the track position is just such, an important factor, especially in terms of restarts. If you're getting, cautions, here and there like we are, the more amount of restarts you're going to have, the more important it is to be up towards the front, kind of stay out of the chaos. And so that's another factor that these guys are battling over is, Mahalski's still working that bottom lane, trying to work on the 44. Not going to be able to do it this time, but battle for that race lead is getting ever so slightly closer as Floyd is trying to run down that race leader.
Mahalski currently up 22 positions. one driver with more on the track. That's a 19 of Michael Muncy sitting in the 7th place right now, up 28 on the night. Both of those drivers recognize that being in the pack of racing, it's not the best place to be, especially on those restarts. Doing a fantastic job of working their way up through the field here, making sure that they're clear of anything that could happen. Muncy leading this second group that has started to form the first 6. Getting away, they're not far enough away that Muncy can't make a charge back up to them.
We just got about 30 laps to go here, so that's not a lot of racing left to go. So I'm not gonna, be too sure to see a whole lot of guys be saving tires at this point of the race. Everybody's pretty much going for it, trying to get as much track position as possible, especially if cautions, if we get some of those fall here, that would really shake up the strategy because, most of these guys, I think, have a set of tires left. I think, really mostly all of them would. Maybe just some of the guys that spun early and had to take a set there, but if you're Richard Holland at this point, you want this thing to go green to the end. No more restarts, no more cautions. Just wants to run his race. He showed how strong he was in that first stint. And I think everybody else knows how strong he is as well. So that's what makes me think that probably nobody's holding back at this point.
On board now with the 2 of Bradley Cooper, the last driver here with our Rob Sim Rig driver cam. And the first driver that we've been on board with cutting that dog leg all the way down nearly on the pit road wall. See if he does it one more time this time by. Slide up high, nearly clip the wall across the tri-oval. Not as aggressive there, still kind of cut the dog leg, but only putting the left sides below that yellow line. See if Bradley Cooper has anything to say to get back into a top 10 position, currently sitting in 11th.
And that battle for the race lead's getting a little bit closer. Still probably safe from any sort of move right now from the 57 for the race lead, but I have been watching the lap times, and Dakota Floyd has been matching and sometimes being a little bit faster than the 17 of Richard Holland here. So as these laps continue to wind down, I'm going to keep my eye on that battle for the race lead.
Just shy of a half-second lead for Richard Holland. A dominating effort so far since he took the lead around that third caution there. Pretty well single-filed out for the most part, though. Our top 10 as it runs: Holland, Floyd, Brewer, Mahalski, Hamp, Cook, Muncy, Wheatley, Ritchie, and Shoemaker. Morgan Lilly back here still trying to gain some ground, back 10 positions from that third starting spot on the night, currently running in 13th. And I still cannot believe how much ground Michael Muncy has made up throughout the entirety of this race. 28 positions is a crazy number of cars to pass.
It really is, and I don't know if that was his plan, but he didn't set a qualifying lap, so that could be a few different things. It could be he just, messed up his 2 laps, hit the wall, spun out, or got an X so the lap didn't count. Or he just wanted the challenge tonight of driving through the field, and obviously he's done just that. Needs to get up a little bit closer to battle for the lead, but, anytime you start at a, such a disadvantage, starting 35th at a track like Phoenix, which is incredibly hard to pass at, that's a huge drive. And look at that move all the way down to the apron there for the 74 of Hennings. He's utilizing every single square inch of this racetrack.
Cutting through the pit road exit even, but again, 100% legal to do so here at Phoenix, but catches the wall on the exit too, gets a little bit squirrely. Nothing doing though for the 74. Right ahead of him, a name that we haven't mentioned a whole lot, a couple of them rather, the 98 of Cliff Adams, ahead of the 84 on screen, Jacob Locklear, running 17th and 18th position. Adams up 7 on the night. Locklear back 1 from where he started there in 17th. He's got a good pace to make something of it. Just has to start getting that preferred line. Find your rhythm. Start making some passes. But up ahead, it's the Cooper machine looking to take away position from Bryce Shoemaker. right now has the advantage, currently sitting in that 10th spot, slides up in front of the 54. A little bit too hot on corner entry. He'll ride that middle line through 1 and 2. He'll get the drive off. Contact now from the inside. The 54 Shoemaker gets him sideways, but Cooper able to collect it. They are both going to lose 2 positions. Shoemaker at risk of losing more.
And that could have been a lot worse than what it was. So I guess good heads-up driving by these guys to keep it straight. Obviously, a little bit of contact. It's going to get them sideways, but that very well could have been a caution here. And they avoided it. We stay green for the time being.
On board now with the 54 Shoemaker. There's that contact. Cooper just kept him down a little bit more than he was expecting. Either one of them able to get the drive off that they wanted. Fantastic recovery from both of them to not slide out in front of the rest of the field.
Big winner from that incident. That's going to be the 24 of Austin Belke. He's going to move up a few spots, and John Sanu just behind there in the 86s. They're going to battle it. And when we talk about short tracks, Austin Belke is a name that you always have to consider. Race winner from Iowa last season in the trucks. I know he hasn't had quite the start to the season that he's wanted, but right now, battling for the top 10. This is a good spot right now for Austin, and a good opportunity to come away with today a decent points day.
Absolutely it is. John Sanu, he did not stay behind the 24 for long. Belke able to collect 1 lap there in the top 10. The 86 got around with a big send into turn number 1, forcing the 24 to check up a little bit on corner exit. Just ahead there, it looks like the 51 of Cook and the 18 of Rob Ham. They're under some tight times here. It looks like the 18 gonna cut it down below the yellow, not much. See if he sends it around the 51 here. Keeps it way high up on corner entry. Cook taking away the line that the 18 wants to run right now.
And you can really see the 18 trying to use every portion of the racetrack. Really entered high in that corner, really slung it in there. If that's even a word, but I mean, he is wheeling that race car. That thing is on edge. He is sliding it around the racetrack, and obviously trying to get another position away here from Morgan Cook. This is the battle for the top 5, but just ahead, you can kind of see that top 4, Holland, Floyd, Brewer, Mahalski. They've kind of separated themselves from 5th on back. These guys have really driven away. And the lead has stayed pretty stable, right about half a second. These guys really aren't, making too much ground up on each other. And laps are continuing to click off here. We're getting close to the 15 to go mark. Time is running out, and these guys, I'm sure, have probably pushed all they can. It just, Phoenix is such a tough racetrack to pass at. And these guys are definitely giving it all they have.
You have to think that Richard Holland is thinking tires at the moment. Like you mentioned, he hasn't quite put the gap down on second place like he has in previous restarts with how this race has gone. The driver of the 17 or 31, however you want to look at it, might be saving some tires in case there's a late race caution. He doesn't want to lose that track position to come down and take another set of tires, if he even has a set remaining.
Yeah, and I would hate to try to speak a caution into existence. That's the last thing we want to see here. But if the caution does fall, and are you kidding me? Do we have a caution?
Jeff Wright, I am going to blame you for that one.
That's you and I both. All right, we've both done it, Logan. We'll call it even. I can't believe that actually spawned a caution in, but I guess we just need to not talk about cautions, because I guess anytime we even think about it, a caution happens out there on the racetrack. But I guess throw everything I said out the window. We got a brand new race on our hands now. Pretty much everybody's going to be visiting pit road here. The question now is, do you take 4? Do you take 2? Do you get in your box cleanly? Do you get do you gain some positions? Do you lose positions? This is the new race here. So, wow, that really turned this race on its head.
Indeed it did, and it appears that it's on the 74, Brian Hennings, back here way in the back of the pack, battling. Keep an eye on that 74. I believe it'll be here in turn number 3. Sends it in all over the back bumper, the 84.
Ooh, overcorrects.
Just got him loose and right back into the driving line. Ryan Hennings just keeping it still, it looks like. A lot of drivers having to make some moves to get around. Finally off the track. Man, that was a big hit there. That was the 84 of Locklear. We'll take it back one more time. And on board the roof of this car. Let's go to the bumper, actually. Here's the contact, got him sideways. There's the overcorrection. Sends Hennings into the wall. Not a whole lot of damage there for Locklear. A lot of ground lost.
And while we were watching that replay, this race just got really interesting in terms of the pit lane strategy. So I saw a handful of guys take 2 tires, move Dakota Floyd up to the lead position, followed by Rob Hamp, Justin Ritchie. Those 3 are all on 2 tires. So now Richard Hall in the race later, he took 4, along with pretty much everybody behind him. We're going to see, what ends up winning this race. Is it going to be the track position, the guys that took the 2 tires, or is it going to be 4 tires that wins this race? This race really just got interesting real quick with this strategy. And I know if you're Richard Hall in here, your goal is to try to make as quick work of these guys as possible. But you got to try to get through the field cleanly here. You're going to definitely have better corner speed than the guys in front of you, but you definitely don't want to take yourself out by accidentally getting into the back of them, getting some damage. So 10 to go here roughly. Strategy is mixed up a little bit. This is about to get fun.
So our top 3 on a 2-tire strategy. The rest of the field on 4 behind Richard Holland, 4th all the way back to the 30th position on the field. Into the Geico restart zone, and Floyd takes the green flag for the first time for the 57 machine on the night. The 44 Brewer immediately hops down below that apron, and the tire advantage playing a big factor now for Philip Brewer as he immediately shot up to the 3rd place spot. Rob Hamp hung out to dry on the outside on 2 tires. We'll see who has what it takes here in the next 10 laps. It's Dakota Floyd, a caution on the track once more. Looks like that's a 93.
Yeah, Denton and Matt Shinosky collected. Not sure. See who all else was involved.
Back on the V-Speed replay camera. Take a look at this 93 machine. Sideways there in the back of the field, but locks it down, keeps it on the apron. 3 wide into turn 1. The 98 on the bottom there. Denton comes up the racetrack. Nearly 3 wide down the backstretch and just got booted from behind. It looked like it started with the 63 of Max Koss getting into the rear end of the 93.
Yeah, just looked like attack from behind and got the car out of control, and then it was just a matter of a little bit of chaos playing out there. But that's what's going to happen at restarts like this. I mean, especially in the late goings of this race, everybody's just trying to get all they can get, and you're going to see things like this happen. And I'm guessing it just looked like Max Koss just misjudged the entry speed there of Denton, or was maybe trying to get to his outside. It's hard to say, but the biggest losers out of that going to be Denton and the 31 of Shinosky. They're going to lose all their track position, and now they got a lot of damage as well.
Take it back one more time, see what happened to the 31. Oh, he got caught up, maybe nose to the door of the 93. See the scramble. Here's the contact sideways. The 98 involved. Yeah, just right into the driver's door there. Let's see here. Find the 98 machine. It's Cliff Adams. One more time on the V-Speed replay. An inside look here for Cliff Adams. Hugging that apron all the way through 1 and 2. Nearly contact out of 2 with the 63 of Cost. Here's the 93 loose. He gets sideways, but no other contact for Adams. So a good outcome there for the 98 machine. He'll be able to continue on to the end of this race. Well, other drivers, maybe not so much.
Yeah, we're already doubling up here for the restart. So Dakota Floyd going to be the race leader here coming to the line. Rob Hamp in the 18 just to his outside. Both these guys are on 2 tires alongside Justin Ritchie there in the 55. The guy in the best position, though, right now, it's going to be last week's race winner, Philip Brewer in the 44. He's the first guy up here right now on 4 tires. The big loser out of that restart, Richard Holland, the dominant driver of the day. Didn't quite have the best restart and kind of just got stuck behind traffic. He's going to restart, I believe, in the 6th position here. So, yeah, 3rd row on the outside. No, he's going to be wanting to get back up towards the front here, but keep our eyes here on this 44. He's in the best position here to take advantage of this.
The 7 of Floyd takes the green flag again. Philip Brewer immediately down to the apron once more. He'll get side by side with Floyd into turn number 1. He's got the tire advantage. Does he have the speed to get around and take the number 1 spot in these closing laps? It's 3 wide right behind. Morgan Cook stuck in the middle. Contact with Noah Mahalski, both of them to the wall, and this one's going to be the big one. Oh, and Cook goes end over end now from a T-bone.
Up and over he goes, and that's going to collect nearly half the field. My goodness.
Upside down on the hood of the 93. Back again on the V-Speed replay. Let's take a look at this one. You say we get a blimp view of this. Starts here with the 3 wide. Cook stuck in the middle. Mahalski on the inside. Rob Hamp on the outside. Hamp into the wall. Cook corrects for it. Just gets into the 03 of Mahalski. Then it's on from there.
Oh,
there's the big hit from the 93 to send Cook side over side.
Oh my goodness. And saw the dominant driver of the day there, Holland. He I thought for a second he was going to get through that, but he went for a spin too into the inside wall and got heavy contact. So as these 3 get together, he thought maybe he could get, or slip through and get by, but we're going to see just barely it gets clipped right there. Justin Ritchie comes down. He got out of control. And then, yeah, that's a lot of drivers getting involved in a wreck here. And you hate to see that, too. This late in the race, I mean, obviously this was a pretty clean race, relatively. A little bit messy in the early goings, and we got good runs through the middle portions. But anytime you get a late rate restart, especially at a track like Phoenix, I mean, these drivers are just trying to get all they can because it is so hard to pass. And, you're going to see 3 wide racing, and you're going to see incidents like this. That's just what happens at this racetrack. It's just unfortunate to see so many good cars get collected.
Here's a perfect example of how things should just go south so quickly. That is a complete track blocker for the back half of the field. This is not what you want to see whenever we're within 5 to go.
No, and you can see the 03 and Mahalski. He had driven up so far up through the field there to get himself in a position to battle for a top 5 and potentially a win there. He's going to be done among so many others. And boy, the battle for the race lead there with the way that caution fell. I bet you Dakota Floyd is pretty happy the way the caution fell, because he was just about be ready to be getting passed by Philip Brewer there in the 44. And caution light comes on. Floyd is still the leader just by an inch or so. He's going to be the leader again here on this upcoming restart. So move Brewer, the 44, to the outside here. Still first car on the 4 tires. See if he can get it done here on the outside.
Pace car off the track now. Floyd on the inside, Brewer on the outside. The fresh tire advantage all the way around the car, which will prevail. This time by will bring us to 3 to go into turn number 3. Floyd leads the way. Geico restart zone in sight. Green flag in the air. And back green flag racing with 3 to go at Phoenix. Oh, and Brewer with a big move from the top to the bottom. Weekly gets some contact from the inside. We're spinning again back behind.
Yeah, it looks like Shoemaker's in it. Laughter goes for a spin. Bryce Shoemaker was having such a great run today, too. We saw him battling inside the top 5 in the early goings of this race. We're in green-white checkered territory now, so we get 2 attempts of these. So at a minimum, we're going to have at least 2 more tries to get this race done under green. We have another caution after that, and Looked like he went off the nose, though. Trying to see who that was.
Couldn't quite catch the number there. We'll take it back again with a different camera angle, but Bryce Shoemaker cut that dog leg there and just wasn't expecting, I believe it's a 75 right in front of him. He makes contact right before the 75 really gets on the pedal here. 54 drops it down on the apron, comes back up on the racing surface. The 75's coming down and just gets into the right rear there. And then it's on from there. Ben Laughter gets mixed up in it. Bradley Cooper with some damage there as well. Could have been from the previous incident we saw just a couple laps ago. Not nearly as many cars involved, but and this is looking very good for Floyd right now. It's lacking on the tires compared to Philip Brewer. But if the 57 keeps getting cautions like this, it's going to hand him the win on the night. This will be green-white checkered attempt number 1 out of 2. You have one more try to make this happen. We'll see if they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what Dakota Floyd needed, is to kind of see some cautions here. I mean, he's on the 2 tires, so he definitely does not have the advantage. So him seeing these cautions kind of are falling out in a timely manner for him. Somebody I know that really doesn't want to see these cautions keep falling is that 44 Philip Brewer. He thinks he can, get by him on the 4 tires. He's got the tire advantage, so he thinks he can go win this race if it just stays green. But man, if we keep getting cautions like this, we might not get an opportunity. We're gonna have at least 2 tries here. I believe this is the first of the 2 attempts, so we're gonna see what happens. I mean, at this rate, it doesn't look pretty. I mean, we're getting cautions pretty frequently here. So, I mean, the odds of this finishing under caution, that could play out to Dakota Floyd's, his favor. But we'll have to wait and see here as we get ready to try another restart.
We've nearly cut the field in half tonight, Jeff. We started out with 38 on the field, now down to 21 on the lead lap. Bradley Cooper in the 2 being the last car on the same lap as our leader, Dakota Floyd. It's going to be an interesting race to the finish, to say the least. See if anybody has anything for the 57 machine. Pace car off the track once more. Floyd electing to take the high line this time on this restart. Didn't like that move from Brewer cutting down behind him last time around. See if it pays off here for the 57 team. Rob Hamp on the outside in the second row. Michael Muncy up 31 positions on the night. Green flag in the air once more, and a big jump for Floyd. Will Philip Brewer have enough to answer? Both of them cutting down on the apron this time. We've made it.
Have a shot here.
Philip Brewer on the inside. Mike Muncy on the inside as well, right behind. Side by side goes Brewer and Floyd. See if we can make it around here to the white flag. One more corner to go until we make this race official. Nearly contact on the left rear. And we are white flag in the air. Anything that happens will be official.
This
Brewer
is going to be
with
so
a big
tight
sin.
here. Really tight. They're pushing each other up. Look at Mike Muncy here. Maybe he's going to have a shot for it. Philip Brewer inching ahead, though, down the back.
That's going to take out Dakota Floyd. Philip Brewer with the commanding lead. Mike Muncy right behind. He's under challenge from Morgan Lilly. But it's going to be Brewer out of turn number 4, taking home the checkered flag at Phoenix.
And how about that? 2 in a row for Philip Brewer in the SNR Challenger Series. What a battle that was. He used the 57 to Floyd up a little bit, had to push him up. He really wanted that spot, and obviously battling for the race win. A lot of times you're going to see contact like that, and he had the fresher tires. He thought if he could just get side by side with them, use them up a little bit, he could probably come away with this win, and he does. So Philip Brewer, back-to-back wins, Auto Club now Phoenix Raceway. He's going to be looking pretty good here in the points after back-to-back race wins.
Can't be upset about that at all. The 44 claims his second on the season. He'll burn it down here on the front stretch, right in front of the fans. I going to say that's one of the better burnout celebrations on the season, Jeff.
Yeah, he certainly knows what he's doing. I think we could all take some pointers from Philip Brewer, but obviously got to be stoked. I mean, I think I put together a stat last week between the Cup Series, Challenger Series. I think he had 35 starts until he broke through for his first win last week at Auto Club. He didn't have to wait 35 races this time. He just had to wait one more week, and he is a back-to-back race winner here in the SNR Challenger Series. So great job by Philip Brewer. Obviously stayed out of trouble. The cards, fell good for him. He got a caution kind of when he needed it, was able to get back into the race, took the 4 tires, and that was the race-winning move of the night.
Well, the race might be complete, but the broadcast isn't. We'll take a quick commercial break. Hear a word from some of our sponsors, then we'll be right back with post-race coverage and interviews with our top 3 finishers. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
And back here live from Phoenix for your post-race coverage of the SNR Challenger Series. We'll get right into our finishing results here. One of our most caution-ridden Challenger races of the season. Actually, it would be the most caution-ridden Challenger race on the season, with 9 on the night, 3 lead changes, but the most important one being when the 44 of Philip Brewer got in front and stayed there. Philip Brewer taking home his second win on the season, followed up by the 19 of Michael Muncy in second. Caleb Weekly sneaks into a top 3 position here on the night. I believe that'll be his best finish on the season so far, following up from a win last season. Morgan Lilly, newcomer to the league, taking home the 4th place position, followed by the 18 of Rob Hamp. 41 of Tim Shinosky takes 6th, followed up by the 29 of Judson Curtis. Jordan Trass able to recover back up to a top 10 position, taking the 79 to the 8th finishing spot. The 63 of Max Cost will take home 9th, and last but not least in our top 10, that will go to Matt Dominique in the 25.
Brandon Wallace rebounds for a good race to get 11th. Keith Shoemaker in the 88 gets 12th tonight. Logan Warner making his debut tonight He gets 13th. Bryce Shoemaker battled up inside the top 5, gets in some incidents, falls back to 14th. Ben Laughter, a car that was involved in multiple wrecks, he's able to salvage a top 15 finish. Bradley Cooper finishes in the 16th position. Mark McFadden up from 29th to 17th. Good run for him. Tad Dabney, 31st to 18th. John Sanu finishes in the exact same spot that he started. He gets 19th. And Austin Belkey will round out your top 20 tonight here at Phoenix.
In the 21st position will be the 57 of Dakota Floyd, followed up by the 32 of Chris Rude. In 23rd, we have the 98 of Cliff Adams, followed up by the 03 of Noah Mahalski. Richard Holland will take the 25th position after dominating a majority of this race in the 17/31 machine. Justin Ritchie in the 55 will take home the 26th position. The 51 of Morgan Cook, after getting mixed up with about 10 laps to go, will finish out in 28th. The 84 of Jacob Locklear in 29th. And it looks like, the 28th position, Rob Denton, Jacob Locklear in 29th, and last but not least in the top 30, Greg Spiker.
In 31st, it's Matt Shanoski, followed by Brian Hennings in 32nd. Michael Jones gets 33rd tonight. Teresa Spiker at 34th. Stephen Davis, 35th. Jeremiah Holt gets 36th. Edward Fiedler gets 37th. And Mark Cofield finishes 103 laps down in 38th.
Don't recall seeing the 28 out there on the track. Not too sure what happened there. But ultimately, we've got some interviews to get into, and let's get right into it with a 13 machine of Caleb Weekly in third place, who I've got down here standing on that third step of the podium. Caleb Weekly, you got a copy up here in the V-Speed booth?
Yeah, I got a copy, Logan.
Well, a fantastic finish for you. You started out in ninth, made your way up to third. That last lap incident there allowing you to take home that last spot on the podium. Tell me what it's like here. I believe this is your best finishing position so far this season.
Yeah, it's my best finish so far this season, and it feels good. I wasn't super quick in the first half, unfortunately. I kind of fell back to 12th. But then I really figured out that the line, I wasn't running the right line. I thought I was running the correct line, and it turns out I was not. And once I figured out how to drive it, I know it was a bad, there was some issue where I moved someone and then got up to 7th, and then I just kind of didn't look back from there. I was really quick in the second half of that race, and with a lot of people making mistakes late in the race, I was able to sneak by for a third place because I didn't make those mistakes.
Hey, whatever happens, if you don't make those mistakes, you stay consistent. This is exactly what you get as one of those benefits of keeping a clean race car here. Didn't see you get mixed up in much. Saw you in quite a bit of battles right around that 8th, 9th, 10th position there before you started working your way up here for this top 3 position. Caleb, you had a fantastic run all night long. Which one of these battles here would you say was most memorable for you on the track tonight?
Oh, I'd have to say me and Richie, we touched bumpers a few times. There was a few instances where me and Richie got into each other, and that one I'm probably going to remember. But not in a bad way, but just in a. I'll remember that one because that was very scary at points.
It most certainly could have been. Caleb Weekly, third place finish on the night. Is there anybody you'd like to say thanks to for your success here?
Well, Grandma Weekly, she's always a strong supporter of these races. And all the guys at Neon Auto, you and Jeff for doing this broadcast, and then just giving a shout out to my dog, Jessie. She doesn't have much longer left in her.
Hate to hear that for you, Caleb, but you got a third place finish here tonight. We've got the Cup Series coming up shortly. You'll celebrate for a little bit, and we'll see you in about an hour's time.
Oh, yeah. I got to go practice for that race.
Awesome. Well, congratulations tonight, buddy. We'll see you in a bit.
See you, Logan.
Caleb Weekly, third place finish on the night. That'll move us right into second place, who Jeff Wright is standing by with Michael Muncie in the 19 machine.
Mike Muncie, Jeff Wright, Logan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, Mike. Well, seems like you had quite the night tonight. Started all the way back in the 35th position, up 33 spots all the way to second. That's an eventful night, and definitely probably wore on you a little bit, I would have to say. Take us through your night, and how was it out there?
Well, I mean, obviously contact on the last lap with Dakota and, excuse me. I just got loose and overcorrected and, first and foremost, apologies to him. I know he's upset and I don't blame him. Obviously, that was nerves are, high and stuff like that. And Phoenix is my favorite track, started in the back, working my way up, a couple restarts, had my nerves busted and just saw a chance to win at the end there and cook the rear tires off the corner and got into him a little bit there and just first and foremost apologies to him. Not how I like to race. I know sometimes I get into some trouble in this league and if the second place, if they penalize me, like put me on the lead like a lap down or something, I would not blame them. I totally would be fine with that and understand that it doesn't feel good finishing second like that. I definitely, same thing with if he won, it feels bad wrecking people. I don't like wrecking people, but regardless, starting from the back, didn't qualify. I probably should have tried to qualify even though I didn't have short run speed. And I figured it'd be better just start in the back and try to miss all the other carnage, which there's plenty of it in this race. So just worked my way up, got a couple lucky breaks with cautions and found myself in the top 5 towards the end there and missing a few more of the wrecks. So it was definitely a tough race for sure. It took a lot on me.
Seems like you've had a pretty good run so far this season, though, at least in terms of the finishing position. I know you mentioned the accident getting into some guys there late and obviously not wanting to race like that. But getting a good finish, has to at least feel good for the points. I mean, you've had outside of Daytona where you kind of wrecked out, finished 27th. You've had a 6th at Texas, a 5th at Auto Club, and now a runner up here, at the Phoenix Raceway. So I imagine you're looking pretty good in points. And obviously, as we continue to click off races into as we get closer to the chase, I mean, do you feel like you're going to be somebody that the rest of the field's going to have to worry about? I mean, you're having a good points run so far, and obviously putting together a string of 3 really good finishes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my goal for the season is to just win races, and I guess that kind of plays into the aggressive style. But I'm not really a points guy. I don't really care about making the chase or anything like that. I mean, it's gonna be cool if you can, but I feel like there's such good guys in here. I kind of probably go for it a little bit harder for wins when I shouldn't. But that's just kind of my style. I won one race last season. Would have liked to win more, but it's hard to win in this league. There's a lot of good guys, and the points kind of fall where they are. How they do when you run up front. I try to win races. I don't look at the points. If I did, I would have rode in third and been content with that. But I'm always just trying to push it to win, and that's all I really care about, honestly. So points are nice though, for sure.
Speaking of trying to get a win, we go to Legacy Atlanta. That's a fun wore out racetrack. Is that a place that you can feel like you could get a win? I know you won at Chicagoland last year. I guess both tracks being a mile and a half, are those the type of tracks that you feel most confident at to try and go get that race win?
I mean, comparing that to Chicagoland is kind of 2 different things. I mean, they're, intermediates, but I would say, old Atlanta and these Xfinity cars, I don't think anybody's going to be confident. I wasn't confident tonight, but there's just such a lack of grip with that kind of track and this car combination. So I don't think anybody's going to be super confident going into it, but I'm going to work on my long run speed and hopefully, with a bigger track. I know we had some cautions this race tonight and last week. So I'm hoping next week, Atlanta tends to, spread out and get, people spread out to where you can get long green flag runs and whoever can control the tire wear will be there on top. And hopefully I'll be up towards the top 5 for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that, I guess.
Well, Michael, before we let you go, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out for tonight's second place runner-up finish?
Just want to shout out to my family, my wife and kids, and thank you for letting me race on Friday or Saturday nights. Appreciate it. appreciate you guys for doing the broadcast. You guys do an awesome job. I really enjoy watching these broadcasts back after the race and giving the link to my family and friends and stuff. And V-Speed does an incredible job with this stuff. So I appreciate you guys.
Well, Mike, we appreciate the kind words, and good luck next week at Atlanta. I know you'll be trying to go after that race win.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
So that was Michael Muncie, runner-up tonight, wanted one position better. The driver that did finish one position better, that's going to be a race winner, Philip Brewer in the number 44. He goes back-to-back. Logan is standing alongside.
Yeah, we've got the race winner here on the night, Philip Brewer. Again, with those back-to-back wins. Philip, what are the emotions like here for the 44 team taking home 2 in a row?
It could feel better. I feel bad for 57. I mean, I knew I had to get up there and take space on him to get around him because he was just too damn fast, but I used him up more than I anticipated. And then, the 19 just drove into his left rear and dumped him and ended a really good race by him. But, I'm happy for 2 in a row.
Well, it's not something you can really complain about too much. You got the 1 lap led on the night being the most important one. Started out in 10th, up 9 positions. Now we've got, I believe you said it was Atlanta next week, Jeff. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, Legacy Atlanta.
So old Atlanta next week. What do we expect from the 44 machine going into that race? Another just worn out track. It can really put on some fun racing for us here.
Just the same old, try to be there at the end. I've been honestly kind of using Dakota to pace myself. He's good on a long run, so if I'm around him, I know I'm doing good.
Were you feeling more comfortable on the short run tonight? We saw you come down. I believe you were the first driver on fresh 4 tires versus the top 3 in those last couple of restarts. Was that quite the advantage for you there, coming to the checkered flag here tonight?
Oh, it definitely was. That first restart, the guys had 2 tires on, and I dropped down to the apron, and I probably picked up 4 or 5 spots into the first corner. So, it really worked out. It was only Dakota giving me problems with 2 tires.
Well, it played in your favor regardless. Philip Brewer, winner of tonight's race at Phoenix. Is there anybody you'd like to say thanks to before we split with you?
Yeah, thanks to V-Speed, everybody up in the booth. It's always a good show. I like watching the races back, and thanks to all the SNR admins who put in a lot of work, and it's a pretty great league. I like racing every Saturday night.
It is indeed a fun time around here, but congratulations, Philip. We'll see you in a little while in the Cup Series, but for now, enjoy your celebration on your win at Phoenix.
Thank you.
Well, Jeff, another great race here to start a Saturday night. 9 cautions being the most that we've seen so far this season. Now, tell us what we have to look forward to from these drivers next week at Atlanta.
Yeah, I know these drivers are probably just looking forward to get out of Phoenix now after this one. Obviously, the most cautions on the night. Got a little bit messy there for from the beginning to the closing end. Had good green flag racing, through the middle stages, but definitely got a little bit messy there. And you kind of tell in the voices of the guys, these are, some of the guys are not happy with the performance or how they got their finishes tonight. So I think everybody's excited to get back out to Atlanta. I know I am. It's a worn out racetrack, and should be exciting. I hope we keep these numbers up. 38 cars here tonight. That's an awesome field size here for the Challenger Series, and I guess now we get ready for that Cup Series tonight at Kern County. Hopefully it's not too chaotic, Logan, but I don't know how much wishful thinking I can have for that race.
Well, we'll find out here in about 40 minutes as we go live from Kern County with the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series presented by M&J Distributors. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, please be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another race. From everybody behind the scenes at SNR and everybody behind the scenes at V-Speed, Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, all of our other phenomenal producers and commentators. My name is Logan Threlkeld, and of course, Jeff Wright in the booth again tonight. We'll see you shortly at Kern County, and then of course next week for our next Challenger race at Atlanta. Good night, everybody.